Right, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Harakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to all the hopeful elect brothers that's doing the will of the Lord in sincerity and in truth. Lord will, this is going to be a quick lesson based on what's going on right now between the U.S., DJT, the president, and Greenland and Denmark, which Greenland is now backed by NATO because Greenland is a Denmark, Salakia, is a part of NATO, and also U.S. is a part of NATO. So the U.S. is essentially turning their allies into enemies, which is prophecy, anyways. You go to the book of Obadiah, and also Revelation chapter 17 and 16. But I'm going to go into it. This is from the BBC News, and this was posted in January 8th, 2025. But it was updated January 14th, which is today, 2026. And the title is, Why Does Trump Want Greenland, and What Could It Mean for NATO? Now, before that, I'm going to get Revelation. No. I'm going to get Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 21. Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. And it says, the king's heart, meaning the mind. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, meaning the power of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So the king's heart, or his mind, is completely 100% controlled by the Most High through his son, Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. So Donald Trump is a king. You know, he rules as a king over Babylon, which is the U.S., right? He's a king of Babylon right now. And the Most High's intent is to stick to his word, which is the scriptures. And the scriptures are about prophecy, right? So prophecy has to come to pass no matter what. And the Most High is stirring things up. He's putting the thoughts into the elite's mind, right? And the rulers of the nations of the world, these countries, to go at it with each other, right? Even though it's all controlled, but still, prophecies still have to come to pass. That's why you see Trump making trouble with everybody, and that means trouble for the U.S. They went to Venezuela, essentially taking it over. Now they want Greenland, and the other countries that they want to hit is Colombia, Mexico, and Cuba, right? But all of this, you know, they taking orders from the elites anyways, but still, it's prophecy, because the Most High is setting the stage so that the U.S. goes to war, you know, that these nations, you know, gather in the Middle East for WW3, and that Babylon the Great be destroyed. So the Most High is essentially setting up Babylon to be destroyed. And right now he's using DJT, the orange man, for it. Let me read that again. Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, meaning the power of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So as the river, as the water, that's a part of the rivers, as it flows, dealing with the currents, the Most High put the thoughts in these kings' mind, in these rulers' mind, to do whithersoever he will. So the purpose or intent of the Most High is to set Babylon up for destruction, for thermonuclear war with these other nations, in which they're going to lose. And Babylon's allies, EU and NATO, which is the beast, the revival of the Roman Empire. The EU is the economic part, or the money part, and then NATO is the defense or the military part. And Babylon the Great is a part of that. Babylon the Great is a part of NATO. America is Rome revived, you know. So right now we're living in the last leg of the Roman Empire, the reincarnation of the Roman Empire, which started back during the Renaissance. Renaissance meaning rebirth of the Roman Empire. And let me get into it, because the Lord is stirring up the minds of these kings so that they could go to war. All these nations are preparing for war. All these nations. They're doing conscription, which is draft. You know? And in Denmark, they're like, women have to be prepared to go to war too. So the purpose of the Lord is to fulfill his word, which is his prophecies. So Babylon the Great has to be destroyed. I'm going to go into it. This is from BBC News. Why does Trump want Greenland, and what could it mean for NATO? The U.S. President Donald Trump insists his country needs to acquire Greenland for national security reasons, and has not ruled out using military force. And right now, there's a meeting between Vance and Trump, and they're in Greenland right now, meeting with their officials. No, Denmark, meeting with their officials right now. Because I just typed in Denmark and clicked on news from Google, and it's from NBC News. Trump administration live updates. Vance and Rubio meet with officials from Denmark and Greenland. And the people that are in Greenland is not a lot of people. The people that are there are Gadites. So-called Indians, indigenous people, which are not Indians. They're the tribe of Gad, of the nation of Israel. Which Gadites are being targeted right now during this whole ice thing. Trump administration live updates. Vance and Rubio meet with officials from Denmark and Greenland. The Trump administration said it's suspending immigration visa processing for 75 countries, including Afghanistan, Brazil, Egypt, and Somalia. War Powers resolution. The Senate voted 51-50 today to to block a resolution that would have stopped President Donald Trump from using military force in Venezuela without congressional approval. Greenland meeting, Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio hosted. The foreign ministers of Denmark and Greenland today admit Trump's efforts to take over the vast semi-autonomous Danish territory. The Danish foreign minister said the two sides have a fundamental disagreement. Disagreement meaning we ain't having it. No, you cannot take it. Which Greenland is going to be backed by NATO. So Trump made enemies with their own with their own alliance that they're a part of, which is stupid. But that's the Most High setting things up. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart, meaning the mind, is in the hand of the Lord, the power of the Lord. So the Most High is doing all this. He's putting it in their minds. He's putting in the elites' minds and giving these rulers of the world orders to do all this because of prophecy's sake, because of His word. His word has to come to pass, no matter what. Semi-autonomous Danish territory. The Danish foreign minister said the two sides have a fundamental disagreement, but we also agree to disagree. Therefore we will, however, continue to talk. So go down here. This is from the Atlantic. It says Denmark's army chief says he's ready to defend Greenland. Danish forces are moving to the island to show NATO and Trump that they are serious about security. More sides in California. It's mostly ice. President Trump has been threatening to commandeer the island, complaining that Denmark has neglected the Arctic territory. So that's their excuse. And asks him how his country plans to strengthen Greenland's defenses. But here's why they really want it. Denmark and allies boost military footprint as Trump ramps up pressure. So the Lord is going to have the U.S. cornered. They ain't going to have no help, or barely any help from NATO, These nations with nuclear capability is going to completely destroy the land masses of the U.S. and the land mass of Israel. That's according to prophecy. Both of them is going to be completely destroyed, but America is going to be left as a giant desert, and the land of Israel, when the fire cools down, is going to be built back up by Yahushua and the elect Israelites that are delivered from destruction of Babylon the Great and around the world. But it's not going to be built up by us, Lord will. It's going to be built up by these elites, because the kings of the earth and the elites, they're going to be the first crop of slaves. They're going to clean up the land of Israel and build it up. They're going to go from riches to rags. They own islands, resources, gold, silver. They own people. They control the money through the world banks. They start wars and mess up economies. So they're gonna go from all that power to having no power at all. when Yahweh Shai comes back. That's, Yahweh Shai is very important. He's our savior, mediator. He's everything to us. You know, he's our connection to the Most High. Because without him, we're not going to be saved. It's from politico.eu. Denmark and allies boost Greenland military footprint as Trump ramps up pressure. Okay. So Wednesday will increase their military presence in Greenland as a part of expanded exercises amid intensifying pressure from Washington over da 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 da. Okay. This is beautiful, by the way. What? Nations back in Greenland. I just wanted to see it. EP group leaders express what is this? Conference of Presidents adopted the following statement in support of multilateralism. Da 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 da. The European Parliament stands firmly in support of multilateralism. The Kingdom of Denmark, including Greenland, is a NATO member and is fully covered by the alliance's collective security guarantees. Meaning, if somebody wants to come up against Denmark and Greenland, we got them. We're going to back them. We're going to help them out to protect them. The European Parliament will continue to reinforce European defense capabilities and ensure that the EU member states uphold their NATO commitments, including through sustained investment and defense and a strong presence in the Arctic region. So these European nations are backing or they're with defending Denmark. This is getting spicy. This is getting good. I'm not even going to lie. The Most High is stirring things up. But let's get to why, right? And I'm going to get Revelation chapter 17 and 16. This is from BBC.com. Why does Trump want Greenland and what could it mean for NATO? But let me see if I have another. Oh, this is from NPR. Why is the U.S. pulling out of 31 UN groups? Let me get to this right here, and I'm going to get Revelation 17 and 16 and end it. Where is Greenland and why does it matter? This article gives you the scoop on what's really going on. And this is BBC. Greenland, the world's largest island, which is not a continent, is located in the Arctic at around 2.2 million square miles, 330 square miles. It is roughly 6 times the size of Germany. That is large. It is also the most sparsely populated global territory, with a population of about 56,000 people, mostly indigenous Inuit people. And the Inuit people are so-called Native Americans, which are of the tribe of Gad. They're Israelites. Its location between North America and the Arctic makes it well placed between North America and the Arctic makes it well placed for early warning systems in the event of missile attacks and for monitoring vessels in the region. So it's a good location for wartime. It says for early warning systems in the event of missile attacks. And at the height of the Cold War, the U.S. had plans to station nuclear missiles on the island but abandoned the project over engineering problems and objections by Denmark because Denmark owns it. The U.S. Has operated Pit Pitufik Pitufik Space Base, formerly known as Thule Air Base, since World War II. It currently monitors for missiles. So it's a location uh, for uh, uh, warning for attacks. Uh, about 80% of Greenland is covered by ice. Da 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 da. Most people live in the southwestern coast or on the capital Nuuk. Its economy is basically based on fishing. Let me get to the point. In recent years, there has been an increase. There has been increased interest in Greenland's natural resources, including rare earth minerals, uranium, and iron. And uranium is ingredient for nuclear weapons, I believe. Yeah, uranium is an ingredient. Some Google AI overview. Uranium is used in nuclear weapons as a fissile material, specifically in the isotope uranium 235, U-35, which must be highly enriched around 90% from its natural state to sustain a nuclear chain reactor, requiring difficult isotope da 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 da. Uranium fission bombs, thermonuclear fusion bombs, and that's what they have now. ICBMs, thermonuclear missiles. These often use a plutonium device as a trigger, but their casings can be made out of unenriched uranium, which fission from the fusion blast, adding power. So it's used in nuclear weapons. It could also have significant oil and gas reserves. So Esau just wants all the resources for himself. Specifically, Babylon. Babylon the Great. These resources, yeah, because even the Edomite brothers, right? The EU and NATO, right? They're like, yo, why you so greedy? And they're Edomites themselves. But it's a setup from the Most High, you know. It's a setup for their downfall and destruction. These resources may become more accessible as global warming leads to the melting of the ice sheets that covers the island. Valuable valuable mineral resources have been a key focus of Trump elsewhere, including in his dealings with the Ukraine. However, the U.S. president has said we need Greenland for national security, not minerals. So because of the location, once, Salakia, more than once, he has described the threat he perceives from rival powers, saying that if we don't take Greenland, Russia or China will take Greenland. What has Trump said about the U.S. controlling Greenland? Da 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 da. Fantasy, da 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 da. I'm gonna try to get to the point. Countries have to have ownership, and you defend ownership. Marco Rubio reported to Lark, the American plan is to buy rather than invade the island. Lasting commercial relationships, uh, common adversaries with Denmark and other members of NATO military alliance. 2019 offered to buy the island. The totally was not for sale. Greenland does not have its own independent military and is not a member of NATO, but is a part of the alliance through Denmark because Denmark owns it. Okay. She and her Danish Prime Minister met. I'm gonna end it soon. Danish Prime Minister met Frederickson warned that any effort to take over Greenland would spell the end of NATO, the end of the military alliance. She and her UK counterpart, Sir Keir Starmer, signed a statement alongside the leaders of fellow NATO members France, Germany, Italy, Poland, and Spain. It said, Greenland belongs to its people and only Denmark and Greenland can decide on matters concerning their relations. So let me go to Revelation 17 and verse 16. This is the purpose of the Lord. Why is all this happening? It's because of this right here. Revelation chapter 17 and verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. The 10 horns is referring to the EU, right? The EU and NATO, which is the modern day Roman Empire. Because and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and the whore is America, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And how do you do that? By thermonuclear missiles, which is going to come by these nations and these nations like Russia and China and the U.S. allies that are currently turning on the U.S., shooting thermonuclear missiles on the U.S. And that's why all of this is happening, and it's only going to get worse. 200. Go to Revelation. Revelation 9 and 16. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, which is 200 million. And I heard the number of them. So that's talking about the missiles, preferably the warheads that's gonna come out of the missiles. 200 million. And the Most High could do that. Yes, he could do that. Let me see. Currently, 9 nations possess nuclear weapons with a global stockpile of 12,000 warheads. Total warheads, 12,000, which the manufacturing of them is going to ramp up for WW3 because it's a part of the prophecy. 200 million is going to be shot on Babylon the Great. And that's the end of the lesson. Lord wills edifying. All praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Harakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.